Well, let's see here. I might not be Morgan Freeman, but this is... Classic Gamer Reviews.
Armored Core for Answer is a weird video game. I know it's weird because I played it for a good amount of time and I failed to find sense in anything. And I know it's a video game because it has buttons! For those of you who are unfamiliar with the series, so like 99% of you, Armored Core is a series of games involving mechs that you can customize to great extents as you go on long journeys or whatever, accompanied by horrible voice acting.
You're right!
For the 1% of you that do know what Armored Core is, well, for Answer is pretty much the same thing. Lots of robots and horrifying voice acting.
Our standard weapons are useless! Where are our normals?
However, I found For Answer to easily be the best game in the series, even with some of its faults. To be honest, I don't know where to start with this review, because it certainly isn't going to be what the game calls the story. I guess mentioning what makes this game different from others in the series is a good place to start. I have played a good amount of Armored Core games in my life, as my brother was fucking obsessed with it as a kid. And the first thing that I noticed about For Answer is how different of a departure the gameplay is from other games in the series. If you're a seasoned veteran to the Armored Core series, then right away you'll notice how different this game feels. The gameplay was tweaked a lot to make controlling your mech a lot more fun and overall much faster. You're able to boost at blinding speeds and it's a thrill to experience. Overall, these tweaks make this fun to play as, at times, it features amazing combat, but yet it still maintains what the series is best known for: customizing robots. There are a lot of ways to customize your mech in this game, and at times it can actually be overwhelming. What the fuck does any of this mean? But if you have an open mind and are willing to learn, then all these numbers start to make sense, and you will find a simple yet deep amount of customization options. I want to make it pink! It's easy enough to learn for newcomers, yet deep enough for veterans. Controlling a mech well on the field has a lot to do with if you'll be successful or not, but customization is equally as important. I want it to be pinker. Some missions are easier to complete than others with different types of mechs, meaning you may sometimes want to make a giant bulky black robot named Black Cock, or a weak and amazingly quick robot called My Sex Life. Thank you, I'll be here all week. I live with my parents, so as long as it's okay with them, it's all good. All the parts you're going to add to your mech are going to affect the way that it moves, so you're going to want to test it out in the training arena.
Hey, yo, Chris, that was a really fun training exercise. Let's do it again sometime.
No, man, this isn't a training exercise. I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Wait, what? No. Oh, God, no! Ah!
My favorite part of customization in this game is messing around with the FRS, which allows you to tweak small stats for your mech, but it should be noted that these aren't permanent. You can keep them assigned to what you want, but you can alter them from mission to mission, unlike most games where the effects can't be changed once they're made. Now, the missions you send your mechs out on range from boring to awesome, with the awesome missions being, well, awesome. My favorite missions were the ones that pit you up against massive mechs called arms forts, and these battles have the potential to become massive. Standing under a giant interactive walking fortress as it stomps into the desert ground shooting up a pile of sand is jaw-dropping, and it is something you got to see to believe. When you're out on these missions, controlling your mech can be a fun time or an annoying chore, but it's never really the game's fault. If you make a bad mech, don't expect to get really far, but if you make a well-balanced mech and tweak it a bit, then it will control like a dream. There's not much to put down about the game, aside from a somewhat confusing button layout that isn't so bad once it's learned, but just because the game itself is good doesn't mean it's as well off as other games out there. Instead, For Answer is more of an acquired taste that you either like or you don't, without there being much of a medium. Now, just because I said there's not much to put down about the game doesn't mean I'm not going to mention the small tidbits that annoyed me. While I praise the game's speed, it's not without its drawback. Greater speed means bigger environments, and bigger environments means less polish. So it's just when you come to a stop that things kind of look a bit ugly. For the few environments the game does feature, you'd expect a bit more effort to be put into them. The outdoor missions suffer from ugliness the most, and that's only more apparent when you realize that you don't want to do the indoor missions because they suck as you're constantly fighting the camera. Also, I noticed that the game randomly decides to have trouble with the frame rate, making the whole experience accustomed to what you might see in a PowerPoint. Running off of a cat. Sorry if that noise upset your cat. Slowdown happened more so on the PS3 version than the 360 version, and a quick look online showed that the 360 version shouldn't be lagging. But that's maybe because I bought this game used. Regardless, I know it's an issue for the PS3 version. Also, the ability to play cooperatively is limited only to missions that you have completed, so if you're having a tough time with the mission, tough luck. And if a game has any emphasis whatsoever on multiplayer, then the split screen shouldn't look as fucking horrible as it does in this game. I don't have any of my own footage to show for this, so I'll put a link at the end of the video so you can see how horrible it is. But seriously, the split screen is almost as bad as Lost Planet 2's. And that shit was just horrible. What actually makes me lose sleep at night is to know that somebody sat down and thought, let's constrict the player's view even more in split screen. And Framerate does seem to put a big emphasis on teamwork, so why any of these ideas made it into the game is beyond me. But ugly textures in the environment, some slowdown, and questionable multiplayer choices were the only blaring issues I had. However, there's also a bit of minor complaints that I have. The game doesn't give you much warning when you're about to leave the area, and the voice acting is horrible. It's as if the game looked up to Earth Defense Force 2017 as a role model in speech. I will admit that they have gotten better throughout the series, but the game only features decent voice acting when it's at its best. I mean, listen to half the shit they say.
You are the same as we once were. Is he sinking into the ocean?
Very wily female lynx.
What fine sheep you are, both of you. Oh, I neglected to mention this, but your support has been completely wiped out.
The story is also absolutely dull as fuck. Though to be fair, Armored Core has never been a series known for its strong stories. Overall though, I enjoyed Framerate a lot. It certainly isn't the most riveting game I have in my collection, but it isn't bad at all. Finding this game can be a bitch and a half, but if you manage to come across it, I do recommend it. It's a fun game that has a lot to offer, even if this isn't your usual type of game.
Well, let's see here. I may not be Morgan Freeman, but this is Classic Gamer Reviews.
I want it to be